For 4 decades, Vince McMahon ruled the wrestling world as the chairman of the WWE.
Lesnar and that slimy ass Paul Heyman!
The man who transformed a regional territory into a global empire. The evil genius who created legends like Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, John Cena, and The Rock. The mastermind behind WrestleMania, the Monday Night Wars, and the Attitude Era that changed entertainment forever. But in the summer of 2022, everything changed. Amidst controversy and legal battles, the most powerful man in wrestling history was forced to step down from his throne and walk away from his empire. There was a new king in town. When Triple H took over creative control, fans were excited. The game promised a new era of wrestling, and initially, he delivered.
Are you ready?
We got incredible matches, fresh storylines, and a product that felt alive again. But over the last year, cracks have started to show. Since the failed execution of John Cena's heel run, Cody Rhodes' mediocre title reign, and the mishandling of other top talents, fans have started to question whether Triple H truly has what it takes to lead the WWE. Add to this the rumors of Vince wanting to come back, and you have a powder keg ready to explode. So what would happen if the former chairman actually made his return?
I want you to see.
How would the landscape of pro wrestling change forever? What would happen if Vince McMahon returned to WWE? Let's find out together. Before we get to the consequences and changes that would shake the WWE if Vince returned, we need to understand the story that would bring him back into power. Because this isn't just about a simple return, this is a calculated takeover.
Come on, everybody! Would you like to see a championship match here tonight?
It all starts on a random episode of SmackDown in October 2025. Cody Rhodes is defending his WWE Championship against Solo Sikoa in the main event, and the match is reaching its climax. As Cody is about to put Solo away with a crossroads, a hooded figure runs into the ring out of nowhere and attacks the champion. The hood comes off, and it's none other than Austin Theory, the former United States champion, Vince's golden boy.
Your daddy's not here anymore.
Who has been overlooked during Triple H's reign, has made his return and just laid out Cody Rhodes. But Theory's not done. He grabs a microphone and goes on a pipe bomb style rant that becomes the talk of the wrestling world. Triple H, you tried to bury me. You tried to bury us. You thought you could just cast us aside and move on with your little pet projects. But now, the time to play the game is over, because he's coming back and he's going to take back his kingdom. Theory warns Triple H, drops the mic, and disappears through the crowd as SmackDown goes off air.
My legacy will stand over everyone.
The whole wrestling world is buzzing all weekend. Who was Theory referring to? What could this mean for the future of WWE? Rumors and speculations are running wild all over the internet. The following Monday on Raw, Triple H opens the show and addresses the elephant in the room. He says he knows the WWE Universe wants answers, and so does he. Triple H calls out Theory to come to the ring and explain himself. Theory's music hits, but he doesn't come out. Triple H calls him out again.
I'm gonna make you show up.
The music hits a second time, but still no Austin Theory. Just as Triple H is about to speak, Theory appears on the Titantron with a smirk on his face. I don't play by your rules anymore, Hunter. And I don't come running when you call me like your little lapdog. Theory leans closer to the camera. If you want answers, you need to give me what I want instead. I want your golden boy Cody Rhodes one-on-one tonight in the main event. Theory makes his demand clear as Triple H looks at him with rage in his eyes. But before Triple H can answer Theory's demand, Cody's music hits and the WWE champion storms to the ring. Cody takes a mic and speaks directly to Theory. Theory, you messed with the wrong champion. I don't know who this he is that you're referring to or what your twisted little plan is, but here's what I do know. You have nobody to blame for your failures except yourself. It's not Triple H's fault. It's not the fans' fault. It's your own damn fault. Cody pauses as the crowd responds with a mixed reaction. But if you want to get a world-class beating on live television, that's fine by me. And you know what? I'll put my WWE championship on the line just to prove to you once and for all that you were never good enough. Cody makes a statement as Theory smirks and the screen cuts to black. When Raw comes back from commercial, Triple H and Cody are arguing backstage. Triple H calls Cody reckless and berates him for handing a title shot just like that, but Cody convinces the game and the match is made official. Austin Theory versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship in the main event. The atmosphere is electric as Cody comes out first to a mixed reaction from the crowd. Then, Theory makes his entrance, but not through the stage. He comes through the crowd with no entrance music, wearing a black hoodie, as some fans cheer and others boo the chaos he's created. The bell rings, and Cody and Theory go at it for 20 intense minutes. Near falls, finishers, everything is thrown at each other. The crowd is on their feet as both men give everything they have. In the end, Cody gets the upper hand and hits Theory with not one, not two, but three devastating crossroads. The champion goes for the pin, but suddenly he's dragged out of the ring at the last second. Cody gets kicked square in the face by none other than Drew McIntyre. The former chosen one throws Cody back into the ring and starts a vicious assault. Theory gets back to his feet, and he and Drew have an intense stare down before both men gang up on Cody. Raw goes off the air with Drew McIntyre and Austin Theory standing tall over the broken body of Cody Rhodes as Triple H looks on helplessly from the ramp. The puzzle pieces are starting to fall into place. Triple H is starting to connect the dots, but little does he know that this is just the beginning of the nightmare that's about to unfold. Later that week on SmackDown, it's a chaotic four-way tag team match in the main event. The Street Profits versus Fraxium versus DIY versus Motor City Machine Guns, all fighting for a shot at the tag team championships. Bodies are flying everywhere. Pure mayhem and carnage as all 8 men tear each other apart. Nathan Fraser climbs to the top rope, looking to hit his signature diving attack, but he's intercepted midair by none other than Drew McIntyre. The Scottish Warrior has arrived, and he's not alone. Austin Theory joins him as they start systematically dismantling every single competitor in the ring. First, they take out Fraxium. Then they turn their attention to Motor City Machine Guns.
Take your time, I'm enjoying every second of this.
But the numbers seem to finally catch up to Drew and Theory. DIY and the Street Profits enter the ring and stand face to face with Drew and Theory. It's 4 against 2, and justice seems about to be served. But in a shocking twist, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins attack DIY. The Street Profits align themselves with Drew McIntyre and Austin Theory and lay waste to the SmackDown Tag Team division. The 4-man army destroys every single wrestler in the ring and stands tall over the carnage as SmackDown goes off the air. Theory looks directly into the camera with a sinister smile and mouths the words, "He's coming." Speculation reaches a fever pitch. The internet explodes with theories and hot takes. Wrestling Twitter is an absolute meltdown. The frustrated wrestlers who felt buried during the Triple H era are banding together to reclaim what they believe is rightfully theirs. All signs point to the return of the man who built the WWE, coming back to reclaim his empire. But there's one more shocking revelation waiting. The following Monday, Raw kicks off with Triple H furiously storming to the ring. No music, no grand entrance, nothing. The Game enters the ring and grabs a microphone. Some people seem to have forgotten who I am. I am the Game, the cerebral assassin, and I didn't get to the top of WWE by playing nice. Even though I'm retired from in-ring action, I'm still that same ruthless guy. And if anyone wants to test me, they will pay the price. The crowd is stunned as Triple H proceeds to fire Austin Theory, Drew McIntyre, and the Street Profits on the spot. He calls for strict security measures to make sure they never step foot in a WWE arena again. WWE is my life, and I will not have anyone destroy my dream. Even if it's family, the show will go on, and I will always do what's best for business. Triple H makes a bold statement as Monday Night Raw continues with its usual programming. In the main event, it's a gauntlet match to determine Cody's next challenger. Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, Randy Orton, Solo Sikoa, and LA Knight are the participants. In the end, it comes down to Sami Zayn and Randy Orton as Cody watches on from ringside. The match comes down to the wire as Randy goes for an RKO, but Sami reverses it and connects with a devastating hell of a kick. Sami begins to crawl toward the cover, but suddenly the camera cuts backstage. A pile of security guards are seen laid out on the floor, and standing over the carnage is none other than Karrion Kross. Kross opens the gates to the arena and lets in Drew McIntyre, Austin Theory, and the Street Profits, who storm through security before making a beeline straight to the ring. Cody enters the ring and stands side by side with Randy and Sami, who ready themselves for the incoming assault. The 5-man army storms the ring and goes right after the trio of babyfaces. Jey Uso and LA Knight rush to help, but even they get overpowered by the heels. Finally, Triple H storms to the ramp, takes off his suit jacket, and makes his way toward the ring, ready for war. But just as Triple H is about to enter the ring, Theory starts laughing at him and points at the Titantron, telling Triple H to turn around and look. The screen glitches, and a familiar voice booms through the arena. "It's good to be back," the voice says. The crowd erupts in a mixture of shock and recognition at the unmistakable voice they all know so well. Text appears on the screen. "See you next week." Raw goes off the air with a shocked Triple Triple H staring at the screen as the fans lose their minds. Social media explodes instantly. Vince is coming trends worldwide within minutes. News outlets scramble to break the story.
Majority owner Vince McMahon has returned to WWE.
The wrestling world hasn't been this electric since Cena's heel turn. Fans are divided, some excited for the chaos that's about to unfold, others terrified of what this means for the product they've grown to love under Triple H's leadership. One thing is certain, everything is about to change, and nobody knows what comes next. Raw kicks off the following week, and the atmosphere is absolutely electric. Triple H comes out first, his face a mask of determination and barely contained fury. But before he can even speak, the familiar tune hits. Vince McMahon's music plays for the first time in over 2 years. And the arena erupts in a deafening reaction. The chairman emerges with that signature strut, soaking in every single decibel of the crowd's explosive response. Some fans are cheering, others are booing, but everyone is on their feet for this historic moment. Vince and Triple H stand face to face in the middle of the ring, two titans of the industry with decades of history between them. Vince grabs the microphone with that familiar confidence. "Hunter, I know you want answers, but the truth is, you already have all the answers you need. I know it was you who orchestrated my downfall. I know it was you who manipulated the controversy, who drove me out so you could seize control of my company, my creation. And now I'm back to take back what's mine and remind you that no matter how hard you try, you will never be Vince McMahon." Triple H looks Vince dead in the eyes, his jaw clenched. "You want the truth, Vince? Yes, it was me. But it wasn't because I was some power-hungry snake like you. It was because I love this company, and I wanted to save it from the tyrannical grip of a senile old man." The crowd responds with a mix of cheers and boos at Hunter's response. Look at what WWE has become since you left. Record-breaking 2-night SummerSlam, the Netflix deal, new partnerships with ESPN, record attendance numbers.
What an incredible night so far!
Social media engagement through the roof, corporate sponsors lining up. "Vince, WWE doesn't need you anymore." But Vince cuts him off mid-sentence, his eyes blazing with fury. "Without me, there is no WWE. While you think you've saved this company, all you've done is water it down and create a cheap knockoff of what WWE once was." Vince's voice echoes throughout the arena. "Nobody wants to see your sanitized wrestling. Nobody wants to see the mat plastered with 1,000 corporate logos. They want controversy. They want violence, drama, personal vendettas, blood feuds that matter." The clash in ideologies is crystal clear. The old guard versus the new. Ruthless entertainment versus athletic competition. The past versus the future. And it's finally time to settle this once and for all. In 2 weeks at Survivor Series War Games, it will be Team Triple H versus Team Vince inside War Games, with complete control of WWE on the line. Team Triple H will be led by WWE Champion Cody Rhodes and features Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, Randy Orton, and LA Knight. Team Vince will be led by Austin Theory and Drew McIntyre and features the Street Profits and Karrion Kross. The WWE Universe is split down the middle. The future of pro wrestling hangs in the balance. And finally, the night of reckoning arrives. For more fantasy booking and premium exclusive wrestling videos, consider becoming a member of our channel. As a member, you get access to 2 exclusive videos every month. For September, these videos include booking the perfect Cody Rhodes heel run and the rise and fall of WWE Studios. Along with this, you'll get access to member-only polls and member-only posts to discuss weekly WWE shows, pay-per-views, and much more. All this for less than the price of a drink at Starbucks. Join now and become a part of the fastest-growing pro wrestling community on YouTube. And now, back to War Games. The War Games match is absolutely brutal. Tables are broken, weapons fly, and the crowd is on their feet as both teams give everything they have. In the closing moments, Jey Uso and Sami Zayn work together to neutralize the Street Profits. Randy Orton goes on an absolute rampage and takes out Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre with vicious RKOs. And finally, it comes down to the numbers game. Cody Rhodes and LA Knight circle Austin Theory, and it seems like Team Triple H has the win locked up. Justice is about to be served. But just when victory seems certain, a shocking betrayal rocks the wrestling world. LA Knight strikes Cody with a devastating low blow and lays him out in the middle of the ring. Austin Theory quickly capitalizes on the situation and hits Cody with his finisher to pick up the win for Team Vince. Vince McMahon is back in complete control of WWE, and the landscape of sports entertainment is about to be turned completely upside down. The evil genius has reclaimed his throne, and nobody knows what chaos he'll unleash next. LA Knight gets a WWE Championship shot as part of his deal with Vince, and the landscape immediately starts shifting. Austin Theory and Drew McIntyre get inserted into the World Heavyweight Championship picture on Raw. Karrion Kross becomes the new Intercontinental Champion. The Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Championships get merged into one, and the Street Profits become the new undisputed Tag Team Champions. But this is just the beginning of Vince's carnage. Major changes take place to the presentation and storytelling philosophy. Stories become more personal and emotionally driven instead of simply determining who the better wrestler is. The focus shifts from athletic competition to character-driven drama. LA Knight becomes the new WWE Champion with Vince's backing, leading to a dynamic similar to The Rock's corporate championship run during the Attitude Era. Knight embraces his role as Vince's golden boy, flaunting his newfound power and privilege while looking down on everyone else. Cody Rhodes assumes a role similar to Stone Cold Steve Austin, constantly waging war against the corporate alliance of Knight and McMahon, leading to must-see television every single week. The American Nightmare becomes the voice of the people, fighting against corruption and corporate greed. Cody destroys McMahon's limousine. He invades WWE headquarters. He does everything to make Vince's life a living hell. Meanwhile, Knight attacks Cody's family and legacy. A white-hot feud reminiscent of the Attitude Era is born. The feud reveals more layers of Cody's character and gets fans to connect with him on a deeper level. It simultaneously propels LA Knight into the main event scene as a legit top-tier heel that fans love to hate. But the main event scene isn't the only storyline that's been revolutionized under Vince's creative control. A deeply personal story brews in the midcard with Rey Mysterio's retirement looming on the horizon. Rey announces that WrestleMania 42 will be his final appearance and that this is his farewell tour in WWE.
Is this where my journey ends?
Finn Balor and JD McDonough of the Judgment Day interrupt this emotional announcement and mock Rey's legacy. They say that nobody cares about Rey and he's nothing but a broken-down has-been taking up space on the roster. They beat him down and leave him laying in the middle of the ring. This vicious assault continues for weeks until one night they cross a line that changes everything. On an episode of Raw after Rey's match, Finn and JD attack the Hall of Famer. JD wraps a steel chair around Mysterio's head while Finn scales the top rope, preparing to deliver a coup de grace that could end Rey's career. But Dominic Mysterio, Rey's wayward son, who has been at constant odds with Balor over control of the Judgment Day, suddenly appears and everything changes. Dirty Dom, the biggest heel in WWE, comes out and shows some signs of humanity for the first time in years. Dom shoves JD away from his father and gets right in Finn's face. It seems like Balor and JD are backing off as Dominic checks on his fallen father. But just as Dom turns his back, Balor and McDonough jump him from behind and beat down both father and son in a heinous assault. This leads to a deeply personal storyline with Dom and Rey reuniting to take on JD McDonough and Finn Balor, with Rey and Dom getting the emotional victory at the Royal Rumble and Dominic turning face in a moment of reconciliation with his father. The stage is perfectly set for Rey's final match against Dominic at WrestleMania 42. Rey will hang up his boots and officially pass on the Mysterio legacy to his son in what promises to be one of the most emotional moments in WrestleMania history. Apart from this, major changes are made to the women's division as well. The Women's Intercontinental
WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion
and United States Championships
Women's United States Champion!
are merged into one title, creating fewer but more intensely personal storylines. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair reignite their legendary rivalry and get into a personal war for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Names like Rhea Ripley, Tiffany Stratton, and Bianca Belair still continue to dominate the women's division, but now their stories revolve around personal vendettas instead of contests to see who's the better in-ring wrestler. The changes go far beyond just the storylines. Vince makes changes to the entire presentation of WWE. Sponsor logos are completely removed from the ring because Vince believes the ring is sacred ground that shouldn't be polluted by corporate advertising. Shows like WWE Unreal that give behind-the-scenes looks and ruins kayfabe are immediately canceled, and the product becomes more gritty and mysterious. The focus shifts dramatically. Matches are shorter and more intense, with the emphasis placed on storytelling and personal rivalries rather than athletic showcases. Shock value entertainment makes its return. Controversial endings that leave fans talking become the norm. Cliffhangers that make viewers desperate to tune in next week. Unexpected betrayals that nobody sees coming. Big stars like Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Randy Orton, and The Rock only make occasional appearances, which gives them a special aura. The unpredictability that made WWE popular is back in full force. But like everything in wrestling, there are pros and cons to this dramatic shift. On the positive side, the product feels fresh and unpredictable again. Ratings start climbing as lapsed fans return to see what chaos Vince will unleash next. However, there are significant downsides as well. WWE cuts all ties with TNA, Noah, and other promotions, refusing to acknowledge the existence of any other wrestling companies. Some of the more family-friendly sponsors pull their support, concerned about the edgier content. The women's division, while more intense, loses some of the athletic credibility it had built up over the past few years. Indie wrestlers like Gargano, who thrived in the more technical environment, find themselves struggling to adapt to the environment. Many of Triple H's favorites get overlooked, buried, and even released from the company. WWE is officially back to operating in classic Vince McMahon style, for better and for worse. The question is whether this approach can sustain itself or if it's just another step back for the company. But let me know what you think. Do you want to see Vince McMahon back in control of WWE? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.